conversations that have been on our mind for, all day. But my crew with me today, I'm going to introduce my boy on the far side here, Ben.
How you doing?
All right. He don't want to give out his social media, but that's cool. I'll put that in later. To my immediate right, got my boy Lewis.
What up?
You want to shout out your social media?
Yeah, follow me on Twitter, Louis_law.
All right. Sure you got that right?
I'll double check.
Okay, all right. I'll put that in later too as well. And to my immediate left, I got this Dallas Cowboy fan here. My boy Big John. Shout your name out. Put your people on.
Big John IG _King_Train_0915.
__.
And that's why there'll be graphics.
Yeah, there'll be graphics for that. Me, myself, I am Hope the Bull. You can find me on Instagram at _1080p_ and a bunch of other stuff I'll also add in later. All right? So let's kick off these topics. First off, we want to talk about Old Man Bush.
Old Man Bush.
And his shenanigans. So Ben brought this topic to the table, and just want you to briefly get it started on that.
Right. So George Bush Sr. basically is being accused of sexual assault on, I think it's 3 women now. And he goes and tells this corny joke saying, "I'm David Copperfield," and grabs the girl's ass. So the question is, like, what do you guys think about that? So, particularly because he's an older man and what's been going on with Weinstein and whatnot.
I just say, man, he's an old man being an old man, I mean, old people get that slight pass, like extra hugs, slippery hands.
But that's the thing, should an old man get a pass?
Nah.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think an old man should get a pass.
So when is the old man threshold? Because I'm about to be 36 in a month.
There is no old man threshold. There is no old man.
So when does it start?
Taking advantage of anybody, regardless of sex or whatever, taking advantage is no bueno. Right. So it doesn't matter how old he is, because Bush tried to Copperfield on my mom, I'm punching Bush in the face. So there's no, the old man, he didn't know.
So what do we correlate? So Bush said, "I'm David Copperfield."
David Copperfield.
And Trump said, "Grab him in the pussy."
Trump is another man.
Do we put those in the same category?
Yeah, it's still sexual. It's still sexual assault.
Right. One is saying it and one is doing it. So Bush is actually. To anybody's knowledge, Trump hasn't grabbed anybody by the pussy.
Right. I mean, he's saying when he said it, he said he was speaking like experience.
Right. He says he would, but nobody has come up and said, "Yeah, he did that." He did grab me. Right. But people are coming and saying Bush did this to me, even though homeboy's in the wheelchair, he's copping the field. So
I mean, we have an ex-president who did it. We have a current president who said he did it. So does that say more about America? Or
I just think we got a lot of dirty old white men. That's it.
So when we talk about dirty old men, something just came to me is Gran Torino. So
don't talk about Clint, bro.
Clint Eastwood made a whole movie. American icon. That's my point. That's what when I said America, I'm thinking of Gran Torino, and the premise of that movie is an old man, a cranky old man, who got to say and do whatever he felt, and I believe the movie won some awards. Am I right?
Yeah.
So again, is that a depiction of us? Is that America? Is that what we? Because he granted now.
Clint had that change of heart.
Clint didn't grab any women, but he said racial slurs and epitaphs and everything throughout the whole movie. So and his movie was highly regarded. So now we look at.
But that's different because you're talking about a movie portraying what happens in actual America.
Right. So we praise the movie.
You praise the movie because of what how it was made, and it's realism.
But it's realism. So we're basing a movie based on real life.
Right.
Is praised.
Right.
So we're okay with.
You're not praising the action. You're praising the movie of showing that and bringing it forward to the society, so they bring it out.
Is that what we got from the movie though?
No, for me, I didn't see it like that. I'm sorry.
I'm just thinking because I'm like, all right, because I watched.
For me, he was a cranky old man. He was a little bit of a racist. Yes, granted, I get all that.
A little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit of a racist.
A little bit of a racist.
He said some racial slurs I never heard of. I had to write that down. I might use that one day when I get. 60-something years old. But it was like.
To me, it was just a movie. I'm not going.
So is it art imitating life? Life imitating art? Which?
I say it's art imitating life.
So that's what I'm saying. So if that's art, if the art was imitating life, should we have looked at that movie and wanted to change something from there?
Well, yeah, but who was reflecting on it? Nobody, right?
That's the problem.
But, exactly. So
that's the problem. So if we have
but why was that? Because it was just a movie. It was for
Right.
entertainment. It's not. It wasn't brought up on the news or something. This old man did all this, say all this stuff. No.
Well, that's the argument. That's the argument we've been having with rap music for forever. You know, the depiction of selling drugs, being misogynist to women, and we had, you know, they wanted to ban the music, they wanted to get rid of it. You know, same thing. You can say rock and roll or whatever. You can't say one is, you know, art. Right. This is okay because it's just pretend. This is wrong because they're glorifying. When it's the pretending movie is glorifying as well.
What was it glorifying?
The
his behavior, wasn't it?
Yeah.
His behavior was towards
disagree because if you look, he was showing how he's a bitter old man from the war, and he changed.
Exactly.
And
so it's not the same. It's not the same.
I don't know. Nobody remembers the change.
I remember.
I don't know.
That's the point of the
That's why
I feel like the whole thing was praised.
No, it's because he grows, he learns from the kid, and he changes, and that's why it got praised. And going back to the rap thing, the glorifying it and all that.
Right.
It's not just
it's
that.
repetitive and the same album follows same, you know.
Right, but it's not just that, but also because the artists, they want to have that authenticity, and they're like, that's the life I live. So you it's different. It's not the same thing.
But then, so that brings me to Jay-Z, for example. 444, he changed. So, but you have people that are still say, you know, drug dealer, rapper, drug dealer, Jay-Z. So is he given that growth?
Oh yeah, because his albums change all the time. Like he went from rapping about his life as a drug dealer and stuff, and it's slowly escalated to something more. But it wasn't the same. Every album was saying about drug dealing. You know, every album pretty much showed like
it kind of was. And I mean, because even for Reasonable Doubt, he was taught. He gave the bad side of it.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But he never was given that.
But he never glorified it.
But that's what I'm saying. The image was put on that he did glorify.
When you bragging in your songs about driving Ferrari,
it's a thin line between glorification and just replication.
Because you're not saying, oh, the hard work I put in working a 9 to 5 or whatever got me this Ferrari. Yeah. You're saying my street hustle got me this Ferrari.
I mean, but at the same time,
so
none of his videos, you've never seen him degrading women or showing drugs and stuff like that.
We got Cristal and
but that's a girls. In that era, it was all accepted because all the videos were like that.
I got you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Strip club pour champagne on naked girl.
Right.
You still do the same thing.
Pour champagne on But I mean, that's what I'm saying. So I'm just thinking like, it's a thin line, and we kind of got off the topic, but it's like it's a point where
I look at it like if it's because of this beautiful country that we're in, because it's freedom of speech. Any kind of form of art, whether it be music, painting, you have the right to do in your own way of doing it. So it doesn't mean everyone has to like it, you know what I mean? But you still have the right to do it, and if you consider it art, who am I or who is another person to say that's not art? Right. That's what they consider art. Right. I might not like your art, or I think your art is trash, but that's my opinion. I'm if you did it for the true art form, who can argue against it? Art is a matter of opinion. It's a matter of,
So pulling it back to Trump and our current state, because it wasn't art, him talking on the bus about, grabbing girls in the pussy, is that less frowned upon? Because it's not art. He didn't say it in a song or a movie, but it's still one of the biggest things that stand out to people.
Well, the problem here is I am a huge Trump hater. However, in this part of it was used as ammo for feminists and for a lot of people who are angry with Trump as general being even a candidate. So it was used as ammo, but to keep it real, as a man myself, and conversations we've had about female.
Don't say we. Do not say we.
Okay.
As men we talk.
I'm going to DM
real we had if it's a conversation with guys, you do talk differently. Right. I got a daughter. I would never let someone talk about a daughter, but at the same time, when I'm in a different mind state with my people, and talk a little different. So I can't judge Trump just for that one thing because I wasn't there for that. But if it was locker room talk, dudes in general will be fronting if they're like, oh, no, we don't talk like that. We,
I mean,
100% respect
if he
all
knew-
day, 24/7.
We all know if he knew he was being recorded, that wouldn't have come out.
Right, of course, yeah, like right now.
But it's the original thing. Bush knows what he's doing.
So he's
actually physically touching
right,
somebody.
and so that's where it
And
gets to
making
the
jokes
old
about
man thing. So it's like I feel like now he's probably near death. So he probably just felt right. I'm not. Yeah, right. I'm not. You know, I'm not glorifying. I'm not excusing it. It's just it goes back to the point where he probably just don't care.
The only part
he don't care because
it's not excusable. The only part that is understandable is if he has some kind of dementia somewhere he doesn't really know what he's doing. He made they were Copperfield joke. He know what he's doing. If he made a conscious joke that made sense,
he's trying to excuse his actions by saying, "Oh, it's a joke."
Do we know when that was? It was like within a couple of months, or
the incident itself. I'm not sure. It was a few years ago.
The other thing I take into consideration: why is it coming out now?
Right, that's what I was gonna say.
Is it because of the sensitive subject now?
Right.
Is it the reason it's coming out?
Because change is starting to happen because of the whole Weinstein thing.
And I was gonna segue into that. Thank you for the segue. Yeah, so when we talk about something that's been going on for a long period of time, and now coming out, what do we think about Harvey Weinstein, who now basically this has been spoken about for years. What's her name that was married to Kurt Cobain? Courtney Love. She said this I think 7-8 years ago in an interview. Somebody had said something about Harvey Weinstein, and she made a comment about his actions and things he's done, and it kind of was something on the rug. And then there's been allegations, rumors, and stuff for years.
Yeah.
Why do we feel like this is coming out now?
Because I think it's coming out now because somebody finally said something.
Somebody had
been said.
No. It hasn't been
charges.
Right, exactly. That's the problem. Talking between friends. Oh, he did this to me. That's not cheap.
She said it. She said what he did.
But she said it. But the way she did it was not sugarcoated. But she didn't go out there like I felt assaulted. I felt
but
this.
At the same time,
but she said he did it.
At the same time, 6-7 years ago, honestly, women didn't have the same voice they have now.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a pain.
Not to mention, it's completely unfair, but you get judged by your character. And at that time, you have the drug addict Courtney Love. That's all she's known for.
Exactly.
So that's the thing. So we're judging the messenger.
That happens.
So that's another issue. We're judging the messenger, not the message, because it shouldn't matter if she's crackhead Courtney Love or Princess Courtney.
Right. It shouldn't matter, but because she's a drug addict or whatever, it hurts her credibility.
Yeah, exactly. It's not that it doesn't matter. It's the credibility part.
So now that it's somebody that doesn't have those types
if she was
of
going to court and said that,
he's on an alcoholic or who's on heroin. Was it Harvey Weinstein? Was it a dragon in the alley? Who knows, right? And so you lose credibility. Right. Saying that it happened.
Right. There's a little bit of doubt. There's some doubt.
So like you just said, right? So you said if she went to court, the credibility would be shot.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. That's what they would attack.
So that's what happens when someone files these charges. So now that brings up Bill Cosby, Harvey, and a bunch of other people. When they feel that because they're not in the power to speak, they don't say anything. So now again, are we looking at? Was it women power, or what changed, or what
changed? Well, the number of women coming forward. I mean, the numbers are stacking against them, regardless. One person's voice versus you got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 women coming out the woodworks. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that.
It's that it takes that one person that has some credibility to come out and speak. Until that happens, nothing happens.
But with Bill, was there any one person with credibility?
Yeah. No, but it was just a number.
There was
a few famous people from back then during the Cosby Show era, but
and then they
just sheer numbers, crazy numbers. I mean, you've seen Dave Chappelle stand up, it's just crazy numbers. But again, it's a crazy situation. I mean, we obviously we weren't there.
Right,
we don't know what's going on.
We don't know.
But it's not impossible to think someone in such power as Bill Cosby at that time, or Harvey Weinstein, or at any time.
Because
he's always
think about it. Look, even
advantage.
us that are not in the industry at all, and we don't know people in the industry, you still have heard things like, "Oh, they slept around. That's why that actress or this actress is there." Mm-hmm. Maybe they did sleep around, but maybe they were forced. Mm-hmm. But that's already there. But that's already there.
The forcing kind of goes into the credibility. Because if Courtney Love was forced, she was drugged and coerced, her addiction could have stemmed from that. So
it's possible.
The chicken or the egg, what came first?
Yeah, I mean, but
so if you kill the credibility,
the Courtney Love portion. I mean, she was a drug addict before these accusations.
It has nothing to do with.
But the problem is in general, and again, I'm not in no way am I defending Harvey Weinstein or Bill Cosby because I don't know what happened.
Right.
That's for
we don't know. We're just.
But at the same time, there's the back and forth argument of all right, well, he used his power to advantage, or this young up and coming starlet saw opportunity. Was either starstruck or just saw an opportunity and slept with him and now is regretting it. And you don't know either one. And there's really no way to really take a side because you weren't there.
Right.
Obviously, with the Bill Cosby case, the numbers just make it too hard to argue.
That becomes the whole. Well, if enough people saying it has to. Is there some truth to it?
Right.
Because you have enough people saying it.
But so think about Michael Jackson. A lot of people said it for him.
I think he was a pedophile, though.
But now Corey Feldman said out of all the people he dealt with in Hollywood, Michael was the only one that never did anything to him.
It's possible.
Well, so
because you have to remember, just because you're a pedophile doesn't mean you hit on every little boy that you see.
Mm-hmm.
So he could have skipped them.
But easy access.
Maybe it wasn't his type.
I don't condone or do that. I don't
maybe it wasn't his type or whatever.
I mean, Corey dressed up like him and stayed over his house.
So maybe they were friends.
Yeah, I mean,
like I said, I don't know how you
that crazy spectrum though because you have Mike Jack who possibly could have touched all these kids, or possibly he could have had a ruined childhood and never got to be a child and he was reliving his childhood.
But for me, what changes it is like, for example, if you have to pay somebody to make a problem go away.
No, that's not always true though. Because sometimes it's easier.
Sometimes
because also like the same way you said the messenger.
Yeah,
wait. The same way you say the messenger is going to be looked at a certain way. So could that celebrity, guilty or innocent. In the court of public opinion, you're guilty. And that's sometimes you want to just pay it off to get rid of it, and because that's the easy way to do it. Because sometimes you can't prove your innocence.
Yes, I get that. But I get that. But let's say that happened one time. How many settlements he had? He had more than one.
But again, the number shouldn't matter.
Yeah. So here's the thing. What's the stop? Like, all right, well, you got a settlement. So now my mom's like, I need a check.
Right.
You touched my kid too when he was there. Like, we're gonna stop it. Not saying it didn't happen, but also saying that the same exact greed could be there, where it's like. Well, let's say this cost me money. I'm not gonna stop hanging around with kids. He obviously had something with that.
Well, like he said,
maybe he actually kids.
He missed out on the childhood. You know what I'm saying?
The man does an amusement park and a pet monkey. Like, you can see something wrong. I mean, learning what we have in the public, like
something there, but they searched his house after he died because they had to go. They found mad shit on his computers. About naked kids and all this other crazy shit. I forget all of it. But it's a bunch of sexual things on a whole bunch of computers all throughout the house. Meaning that their thought is that he was trying to desensitize these kids by showing them all these sexual stuff.
But even with all of that evidence, he was never found guilty of anything. So if they found
everything was settled.
Even after the fact, but even after the fact, when that case finally came out, where they had pictures of him and all that stuff, that case went to trial. Yeah, he was on trial. He was found innocent because he was dancing on the car and all that. That case where they took pictures of his body and the kid had to describe. It was crazy, but that case went to trial. Yeah. Right, he was dead. But that case went to trial, and he was found not guilty. Even with all of that evidence, they confiscated the computer, went through the house, took pictures of him, had the kid
I'm talking about after he died. It's after
I never remember.
I remember they did all that.
I don't remember reading anything.
He went to trial.
I don't remember reading anything at all about them finding pedophilic stuff on his computer.
I remember pictures. If you
own that stuff, then 100%, like you own that stuff on there.
I think the kids were like top shirtless, stuff like that. I don't know if it was.
Like I said, that trial one, I don't know, but this is after the fact. After he died, they had to.
Yeah, I remember they confiscated stuff.
They had to go through his estate and they were checking all this stuff, and they found all that.
We've heard stories for the longest time of of people taking advantage of the little sex parties and and I mean you never know what's going on over there. You never know everyone's intent. And I'm not talking about like the Michael Jackson thing. I'm talking about like the Harvey Weinstein, the Bill Cosby thing.
Right.
Because with a minor, there's no excuse. I mean, if it happened, there's no, regardless of what the power, what the thing was. Even if the little kid wanted to get a big career, that's still a child that's different. But of age adults, consenting adults, it's hard to not know what side without being there because you like as much as there's every dude wants to use his power to take advantage, there's also a girl who wants that money and wants that power to
leverage it.
Like, it happens on both sides, and there's evil in both. I mean, there's for the tons of unfortunate women who were sexually assaulted or raped. There's also tons of women who make the fake claims on famous celebrities or rap stars or. And they get shown, right, and they admit that they were wrong and they did it just for a check.
That's what makes it difficult.
So that's what makes it really hard. Yeah,
that's what makes it difficult.
So curveball, not really. But what about Roman Polanski?
Roman Polanski.
Nah, he fled the country.
He fled the country.
That's the first.
Now, he fled the country. However,
OJ drove down the highway in a white Bronco. He fled the country.
Right, big difference. So I'm not comparing at all. I'm just saying he fled the country. And yet he got a standing ovation at the Oscars 3 years ago for The Pianist, whatever movie, no pun intended. The Pianist, piano player. He directed that movie, won an Oscar. The whole auditorium gave him a standing ovation.
Were all the charges known at that time?
This was 3 years ago. The charges were from the 80s.
Yes. 10 years is like.
So it wasn't that movie then. It wasn't that movie, but he won. It might have been 2007. It might have been like 2007. He's still making movies.
What movies?
I won't say nothing in the last 3 years, but
I haven't heard.
The charges that when he originally fled was in the 70s.
When he fled the country,
he fled in the 70s. He fled in the 70s.
I'm not saying.
My point is, from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, he's still making movies, and got a standing ovation at the Oscars. A standing ovation. The whole auditorium of actors, producers, directors gave him a standing ovation.
But that could be his peers supporting him thinking he didn't do it.
Right.
There's still people who support Cosby saying he didn't do it.
Or it could be so much time has passed that,
Nah.
So can you forgive?
Can you forget?
Oh, okay.
You cannot forget, but
So a standing ovation?
I feel like there's no limit station.
That's what I'm saying.
But does that limit his ability as a director for that movie? Like maybe they could have been applauding just for, hey, that was a.
So then we should still be able to listen to R. Kelly music. So we should still be able to. I mean, that's what I'm saying. So we can't knock him.
You're trying to separate the art and the person. I can't do it.
You can't do it, right? So that's what I'm saying. So when it comes to the point of, and then Bill Cosby, they removed the Cosby Show episodes from TV. They brought it back. But when the allegations first came out, and whether he even went to trial or not, they removed his show. They still allowing Roman Polanski to make movies and win Oscars.
Well, if he's not making them in the country.
Again, I'm not.
But he's winning Oscars in the country. I don't know. The Oscars is international. But right, but there was a bunch of Americans in this auditorium just. My man, like so they.
I can't. I have no idea about that.
It's.
If I remember,
like I said, I don't know if it was The Pianist,
he had
but
2 or 3 cases against him. Cosby had every case for every episode of the Cosby Show. Like he had.
But of course, when you leave, you don't. Your trail, your crime spree ends. He left the country. If Cosby would have left, he would have stopped too.
And we had to fact check that one. I don't remember him leaving in the 70s. I could have sworn he left.
It was like it was way back because so the story goes he was at Jack Nicklaus' house. Taking pictures of the little girl. This was back in the late 70s, early 80s. This was back, way back. And he bounced. He left. And then he's still allowed to, do his movies. He's still allowed to.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know enough about that one.
Right. I mean, that's why I said it's a curveball. Yeah, that's why I said it's like kind of a curveball.
But myself personally, I wouldn't be able to separate that because it's still the person that's making it. It's not so much about. You're celebrating the person because he made something. Mm-hmm. It's not that you're celebrating that art. So no. That's
what I'm saying. He got, and it was one of those standing ovations that was kind of like, excessive. Like, we want to make it a point to celebrate. And again, I don't know if it was the movie or what, but.
Maybe now in hindsight, those people.
In 77.
No,
It was 77 and he bounced.
I think you're talking about The Pianist because he hasn't had nothing that won.
That's what I'm saying. But that was what? That was 2005? No, 2002. Yeah. Okay, so far. So since 77 to 2002, he's still been working and he's getting awarded.
But up to that point, was it already a given?
Yes, that's why he left.
No, but actual.
No, there's been no.
He's still
he's living a trial. So he left before all that could happen. He was under arrest. There was a warrant for his arrest.
He just had left where you fleed.
He's like, oh man, he got away.
You didn't move. You fled the country.
So that's what I'm saying. So they were like, yo, so again, he got a little privilege. Hey, we're coming to take you in, Roman. He's like, private jet left. Now, mind you, he left. He was allowed to leave, so they didn't really put the pressure on.
That's a little different. Like I'm not saying, it's not like when you have a private jet, you own your own like air.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I don't know if that specific. I don't know if he had, his own thing. I don't know.
But Ron Polanski's not taking American Airlines. Like,
well, it was the 70s.
Different.
I don't know how it was back then, but he left. Like you still go through something.
Well, back then they didn't have no TSA, bro. So.
Well, true. So
remember, people smoking in the fucking plane.
Well, I don't remember. I wasn't. You the old head here. So the same thing. Right. So so we covered that one. I mean, Roman. Like I said, if 2002. He's still, like I said, that's still kind of.
Again, I mean, to me, he looks guilty as fuck about fleeing. Right. But
that's more telling than.
But his peers,
paying off.
His peers might be looking at him like a person who did amazing art, film work, who's not currently guilty or charged by the state of the U.S.
So is R. Kelly. So is Bill Cosby. So is Harvey Weinstein.
R. Kelly still gets celebrated when he sings.
No.
Why?
He's not getting a standing ovation at the Grammys.
What?
He's not getting
a Grammy.
Well, when he made Trapped in the Closet, it was nominated.
We gotta look it up.
It was nominated. Yeah. I'm telling you, I looked this up. It's nominated. It was nominated. Trapped in the Closet was the truth, though. You ain't rock with something. But in the beginning, it was like the first.
Like a midget. It was and like Roger Rabbit was there. Right. I couldn't do it.
But in the beginning,
Trapped in the Closet, like a 12-part fucking song. Like the first,
it started
second,
out
third,
as like,
and then it was like Charlie Brown was hiding under the bed. It was like there was just too much going on in that song.
First in the kitchen,
right? But it was nominated for awards.
But my thing is like when it comes to the art form, I watch a movie because of the way it was made. I listen to music because of the way it was made.
That's
I don't care what the
all your peers are celebrating the art. I mean, you want an Oscar?
Is that
someone say the notes? All right, so what we talking about? So wrapping up there, Roman. So America is a very touchy-feely place.
Touchy-feely.
The sexual thing is something that's still a lot has to be done. We're still far away from something, from a resolution about that.
Well, I mean, now not to beat that horse anymore, but I mean, what is going to happen now with Harvey Weinstein? Like, do we really? Is one person? Or,
no, it's multiple persons.
And they're actually pressing charges currently because most of them was old stuff.
Right. The problem, I think there is a current one now, but not current, but still within the statute of limitation.
Okay.
The problem is that most of them aren't.
Most of them are old, so it's like what's the statute of limitation on? Like,
well, New York no longer has a statute of limitation.
Statute of limitation depends also on the state.
Right. That's Hollywood.
The problem is that like with the way things work out nowadays, especially with people have short-term memory, man. Right. The next dude to touch the next person, and after
that's what's going on.
Bush come out.
They got Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck video.
They got a video of him with, like you said, they had history. Yeah. So to me, that one looked awkward. Did you see the video with Ben Affleck and the girl?
No, but she spoke about it, didn't she?
Yeah. She said it was she knew him. Like they had history already, and she apologized. But because of the weirdness of it.
But the Affleck thing, like, don't get me wrong. I mean, he was being.
But it might be more.
Acting like a frat boy.
Right.
But at the same time, that's no different than Ellen Googling over Katy Perry's tits.
No.
So it's literally the same thing. I mean, some females might feel it's different because she's a female, but that is completely incorrect. That's the wrong thought process to have. Because either it's wrong or it's not wrong.
Right. It should be wrong. She should be held to the same thing as a man because she's attracted to women. She's attracted to women, so therefore she's basically acting like a dude, right?
Like, don't get me wrong. Like I fucked with Ellen, but that situation.
I'm sure she wasn't doing it with that intent, but that's because that double standard is there in our society that women do something.
Well, she didn't touch her.
But
so what if
she's like this?
Nah, but you gotta do that, and it's the same thing.
Right. I'm not defending Ellen.
My whole thing is that, like I said, 3 or 4 perverts from now will happen, and then we'll all go watch a Weinstein movie. Forget all that even happened.
People kind of forgot about R. Kelly for a little bit.
Nah, I don't forget about that.
A little bit, no, because he's kind of been like people. Because
I haven't heard it.
Ain't nobody forgot, but he just bounced back.
What I'm saying, he's like
something came up with him.
A new girl just came out. That's what I said, but it was a moment where it was kind of.
Well, not. I mean, did he just be in the news for having like a sex house or something?
But that was
something like that.
Right now, see, but now for that. That's something I want to talk about as well because allegedly, right? But it's like we talk about him having they call it a sex cult, You know what I'm saying? That's like how the news kind of titles it.
Listen, man.
And it's like, what about the Playboy Mansion? Or 50 Shades of Grey? Like,
if the girls are there and they're like, yo, listen, I want to get on R. Kelly. I'm happy with being in my situation.
Right.
Then it's no one's judgment on what he does in his privacy of his own.
But again, we got the court of public opinion.
And it's the time we live in. I mean, and 15 years ago, everybody was, yo, he a G. He got all these girls' house doing what he want. Yo, he's a G.
There's still people like that.
Yeah, still like that.
And to me, I feel like if he's right, again, people bring up what he did before. People bring up the prior stuff with
the thing is, it's hard to escape when you pee on a girl. Like it's really hard to escape.
Well, they know come out.
That's the thing. You gotta look at he was found not guilty for that crime.
Well, no, not for the crime of peeing on someone. He got hurt for that.
The foot that hurt the girl, right?
He pee on a girl. Like,
okay. Women like getting peed on. Someone with that.
That was the point.
I mean, if she wanted, but like you said, if someone wants to get peed on, who are we to?
Oh no, I agree. So it's a female.
But that's what I'm saying. It was
underage female got
right. It was the statutory rape that was the crime, and he was found.
And so he's been the butt of jokes forever. Like that thing.
But it's not a joke. It's not a joke. Like people, like whatever he's doing now, everyone always refers to that.
R. Kelly's not going to ever escape that.
I mean, like I said,
that stigma's on him.
And the thing is, nobody cares. Nobody cares about his music. No one's looking for an R. Kelly album. It's not happening. Nobody cares.
So is that because of?
It's the stigma he carries about.
So but that goes back to my point before with Roman Polanski winning the Oscar.
Well, no, it's not the stigma he carries.
That's what I'm saying. We forgot about Roman Polanski.
It's also him putting out trash music. Right. When he was still trying to do good music, it was no longer.
But I was talking about that he's always going to be referred to that.
So I'm saying, I'm confused.
That's the butt of the joke. But if you still put out a good product, it has been shown that people will still buy it, even if no matter what your history
right.
is.
I'm not saying he wouldn't sell if he had some good music. I'm just saying he's always even if he sells good music, he still would peed in that.
Yeah, but no one's like, oh, my top R. Kelly album, but he peed on somebody. Like no one's putting those things together. I want to hear what you're talking about. I don't care if you're female, male. I want to hear your lyrics. And if you can lyrically are skillful, then you deserve respect.
All right, so that brings me to another topic then, because Nicki Minaj just tweeted something about sexism in the rap game.
Oh God, so ridiculous.
So ridiculous. So you say that you don't care about women, men, whoever rapping. Do you feel she doesn't get the credit she deserves?
Nope. I think she doesn't get the credit she deserves. That she feels she deserves because she feels she's putting out great music. She's not. She's been putting out trash for a while now. Mm-hmm. Her fans, her Barbies are not really there anymore. They still follow her on Twitter. They still follow her on Instagram, but they're not buying her fucking albums. Mm-hmm. And her lyrical ability has not been where it was, which makes you feel like maybe she didn't have a ghostwriter. Mm-hmm. But obviously, I'm not there. I'm not there to write it, so I don't know. But I disagree with her statement because she was saying that if they would never say that about a man, when a new artist, you compare him to someone who's been killed, that's ridiculous. Every time a new artist who's really hot, they're like, oh, he's killing Jay-Z, he's killing Nas, he's killing, like back in the day, he's killing Coogee Rap, he's killing Tupac, he's killing, like that's always been a thing. Right. Men were still compared to the newer peers, even though like it didn't matter if
you're always going to get compared to somebody.
Yeah, correct.
No
so that statement, she's incorrect. Don't get me wrong, I do feel that females in the rap industry do not get the same love they should. I mean, we had a conversation before about my top 20. Missy Elliott's on my top 20. Like I personally think she's the greatest MC of all time for females. But that's just my own thing with because of how many albums she has, how many hits. Right. Like I love Lauryn Hill, I love Miss Education, but it's one album.
Yeah,
it's a phenomenal one album, and it's just, in my opinion, one of the best hip hop albums ever made. But it's still one album. It's just not a body work feature or greatest female all time.
Yeah, you need a track record.
And then there's different categories like street rappers and all that. But for overall, I don't think females get the love they deserve. True, but there are a lot of females who try to do it that is really trash, and they do take that sex sells route, but then they complain that only sex sells. So it's kind of like, how many of them are really doing the Lauryn Hill and covering up and being, hey, don't do this, don't do that.
It's difficult for them because they do get bottled into that also because sex sells. They're like, well, you're kind of cute, let's push it that way anyways. Right. So,
But it's the same thing. So, for instance, if Trey Songz was using his God-given talent, his voice, to only sing about politics and women's rights and feminism, and not saying, oh, nah, and not saying about shots, and not saying, would he get the same sales? That's all about sexual items. It's the same thing. Right. It's literally the same thing. So there's no difference there. If a lot of these artists, like men are equally as sexualized in the music industry when it comes to R&B at least. Right. Not as much hip hop. Hip hop is more of a hardcore thing. But when it comes to singing, they literally are sexualized. You know what I mean? Ruben Studdard, an excellent voice. where was his love? Where's his thing? You know, no one see the big guy do his thing for singing, whatever. But Usher, R. Kelly, their biggest hits, their biggest songs are those hits that have nothing to do with it. They're not taking a political stance. They're not saying anything meaningful.
Well, R. Kelly had, I believe, I Can Fly. That was kind of not political, but it was not sexual.
Because
that was tied to.
I'm not saying.
It's tied to a movie.
I'm not saying every single song they make is
sexual. So what she was saying was her biggest accomplishments or whatever was rapping with Drake, rapping with Wayne, rapping with J. Cole, and so forth, or her verse on Monster with Jay-Z and all that stuff. And she's saying that she doesn't get the credit for doing that in the game and I guess keeping female rap relevant.
But what has she done? I mean, Monster is the one I give her that she held her own, if not better than the men on the album on the song. But her other songs, she's literally putting herself in that subject because she's saying eating my ass like a cupcake. Like she's putting herself in that mix. So you can't complain about that. Again, she's not spitting about anything else but sexual things or starships, which who the fuck knows what that song's about. But there's no where's the lyrical content? You want to be judged by your peers and be put up to the same rankings. Where's your lyrical content? Where's yours?
Where's the body of work?
I know I am. Where's your story?
Well, she has the song. I can't remember the name of it. Champion or something like that. It was like a motivational kind of song, whatever. And it's like a song like that. She feels like she would have been bigger if she was a man.
I'm gonna tell you something right now. I listen to music. I don't listen to every lyric. I'm not judging lyrics and whatever all the time. To me, if it sounds good, it has a hook. I'm gonna listen to it. If it's belting, I'm not gonna listen to it, regardless of the lyrics. So, my thing, you can't just you can't complain that nobody's listening to your lyrics, but a song that makes a hit is because it's the music, it's just the hooks and the beats that people like.
So let's get to the bottom of it. Do we feel like she's bitter now because Cardi B is taking her shine?
I think she's just bitter because
or anybody, because now there's competition.
Yeah, right.
Well, I don't think she should, because once she's complaining that women are getting enough shine, well, Cardi B getting that shine now too. So.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
So you can't complain.
Right.
If you look at the overall rap game, obviously it's very competitive, of course.
Right.
And you're gonna have your beefs with each other, but overall you do have a network of artists that work together. For instance, the biggest example would be Down South, where New York owned the rap, Down South took over because they all worked together. While New York were fighting, they all worked together.
Right.
If you look at, historically, female hip hop, it was, all right, I'm shining, who are you? Let me attack you. Right. There was no sisterly
cohesiveness.
Yeah, like the only one I think you had with sisterly love is what, that Moulin Rouge song where you had Little Kim and you had like trying to do something. They were trying to get females of R&B and all that work together.
Ladies' Night.
Yeah.
Martinez.
Exactly. But other than that, you don't really have that. You have more of a battle mentality. Like, oh, you're starting to step on my crown. I can only be one female.
Right. So did Nicki create that? Did Nicki create that?
No, that's been like that for a while.
Who do you think that?
Well, you go back to Foxy and Little Kim and all of them. That trails back to the beginning of time where female rappers was going at it.
My whole thing with her, like the taking it serious thing, like it just bothers me because when she does just play the whole side with the gender side, like you change your name to Nicki Minaj, a sexual sounding name.
Well, it's a play on her Latin real name.
No, I know. But it's a sexual sounding name, and on top of that, if you really felt about your natural beauty and the way women should feel in empowerment, then you wouldn't have paid a bunch of doctors to make you look like this when you used to look like this. That's how I feel.
Speaking of natural beauty and doctors,
I don't remember Lauryn Hill getting booty shots. I don't remember her getting breast implants.
So y'all want to talk about the strippers versus bartenders?
I'm with it.
You're ready to tackle that?
I'm pro bartender.
I'm pro bartenders. We got
Listen,
I mean,
I'm pro bartender.
I personally have had no experience ever going to a strip club. However,
we will edit that out. We will completely edit the lies. We will not be telling lies on this podcast.
However, to me, the bartender has to work harder overall. The bartender, their job, believe it or not, they're dealing with more drunk customers and outrageous customers because they're fully clothed or in a less revealing outfit than the strippers. So they're like getting completely harassed on a regular basis. Where the female on stage is not doing the same type of work. She's doing work. I'm not discrediting her pole dancing technique. However, the bartender is dealing with a whole different aspect of it, and it will make sense. It makes 100% sense why they make more money. Especially since some of the strippers I've been to, like the strippers are the ones who they're begging for your dollar without doing anything, and they're just walking by like, Like when you go to the circus, you want to see some clowns. That's how it works.
I mean, you go for you see the clowns, but you appreciate the elephants and everything. You know what I'm saying? I think bartenders, like you said, they put a lot of work. They do a lot of social media promoting. I mean, bartenders are damn near entrepreneurs on their goddamn own because the way they promote themselves, the way they get clientele, the way they build that aura, they get a following. Mm-hmm. Strippers don't put in. I feel don't put in the same work. I mean, they show up, they do what they do.
They hope their body sells enough to get the money in the clientele, and it doesn't work that way anymore.
I mean, I mean, Paul contested. We went strip club.
I did what now?
And the golden, when bartenders started on that rise, 9 out of 10 strip clubs you go to, the bartenders are better than the strippers anyway.
100%.
Anyway.
100%.
So you can't fault them. You got the baddest girls in the place, or the ones serving the drinks. Mm-hmm. That's not.
So it's. I mean, it started in the beginning. It was kind of like the promotion. The girls started out as the dancers. Then when they kind of got promoted, older. I don't want to say older. They, elevated. They became. Yeah, they elevated and became the bartenders.
I just think strippers are bitter because they have to get full blown naked and instead of making the money or the revenue generation.
It depends on the location.
I think it's
what I mean.
They're bitter because it's changed. Because before they were the attention. Now it's not.
The dynamics change.
They don't have that attention no more.
Yeah, but I mean, I could be wrong, but like most of the bartenders like that you see on social media are promoting like crazy.
Yeah, right.
I don't see any strippers saying, "Hey, come watch me shake my ass."
Right.
But many are like, "Hey, drinks this time."
Right, and that's the thing.
on.
They don't put in the work. Like before, they had to interact with the clients, but now they just don't. They just let the bartenders do it. And what happens? Promoters and club owners the guys are interacting with the bartenders. You know what? Let's step up the bartenders.
That's how it works. Mm-hmm. If I want to promote a club, I put Fabulous on the flyer to promote a club. Mm-hmm. If my bartender is bad and she has 1 million followers, 1,000 followers, and she's promoting it, and she's like, it's not like the bartender's just like, okay, fine, put me on a thing. She's actually promoting in her own social media feed. Hey, so anything, she deserves that revenue stream.
Back to the Sin City days, the Sin City calendar was all bartenders.
Yeah,
bartenders. You didn't see the strippers on that calendar.
That's true.
It was.
Because they don't because
December,
the dancers don't want to be associated as being strippers.
But I mean, also like bullet holes don't photo well.
Not all. There are some beautiful dancers out there in the world.
Not talking
Sin had some. They had a little bit of both though. Sin had a little bit of. So I hear.
It was a good balance.
I hear that it has. I've never been to Wiggles.
Thank God.
They closed down before. I was trying to go there for the longest, and I never been. They closed it down, or whatever. But
one of these Wiggles.
Yeah.
Good. That place.
I've heard so much about it.
It was still there, wasn't it? Like
the building is still there. I think the sign is still there and stuff.
They have to legalize it.
It just got worse and worse. I think again, the growth of the strip club industry.
Right.
A lot, happened.
I remember when there was barely any.
I mean, you think about it now, people have their birthday party at a strip club, like
male and female.
Yeah, the strip club became
it just became
the
club, and we seen couples would go there. Right. It would just be it's after hours.
It's just changed. I feel like it's changed a lot.
I feel like, all right, strippers, stop being bitter. You lost it. But if you want to put your hustle out more, then hustle more, do more, promotion for your club, do more mainstream, and you'll be alright.
I mean,
well, what can they do? So what do you think? Because strike. I mean, so do we feel the strike would work?
No, hell no.
No. I'm asking. There's no way.
I don't believe so either. But I'm just presenting it to the table.
When you want to make $15 an hour at McDonald's, they put in computer machines. Right. If you want to share the stripper, they just hire a bunch of other girls from Dominican Republic and other Central American countries.
So what can they do? So what can they do?
Shut the fuck up.
Do you feel the club can do something to help the strippers?
Yeah, no. I think the club can help them a bit. But
by letting go the bartenders.
No, not letting go the bartenders.
I mean,
not letting go the bartenders.
If you see them first, you hit that right real quick, and you gotta put your
like, all right, listen. Right. You take these classes, learn some new tricks. Maybe
No, it's not so. No. But it's not so much about the girls on stage, but as if you guys have been to one, and the girls come off the stage, what do? They sit at the bar and then do shit sometimes, right? That's when the club should be like,
so
yo,
talk
to you people. Go. Mm-hmm. That's your money. You're leaving your money over there.
But the club doesn't care.
Right. They don't care now because
their house fee and they're getting the drink money. So do they care about the rest of the money, their money for
Listen,
No, right. They don't care, but that's the point.
Yeah.
Maybe they should just to.
So do you think?
Listen, you gotta go on a
Just to
hustle.
push
You want to make
Right.
money, you gotta go on a hustle.
Well, remember, so
You gotta hustle.
You gotta hustle.
The club was in it for themselves.
Right.
So the club doesn't care about bottles.
Everybody
VIP used to be the thing. So VIP used to be like, all right, you're gonna get a bottle or two. They're gonna send girls specifically up there and stuff like that. But now, if everybody's going to the club to hang out at the bar,
and then sit with a couple stacks there, you know.
because the average person can't compete with the rapper in VIP.
Right.
The rapper in VIP is going.
But
for
that's
a
what I'm
yearly
saying.
salary.
I mean,
Okay,
when,
but-
when a $40 bottle of Henny is $400.
It's $100, right.
But that's what I'm saying. So if you
So it
know,
alienates VIP.
perfect, whatever. But the point is that if you know you're not getting money behind the stage, behind the bar, because you got to go through the bartender,
saying
then get
become
the
a
fuck
bartender?
out. Get the fuck out. Go into the floor,
that-
right?
But remember, they also have to dance on stage too. Like remember, they rotate on stage.
Yeah.
So when they're on stage, what can be done to make the stage still relevant? If everybody's at the bar,
Listen, it's going back to my clown thing before. The reason why Barnum Belly closed is because people got tired of the same old shit in the circus.
Right.
Same thing. You know what I mean? Like, if you say that if he's doing the same boring routine with the same stupid music, and you're twerking your left foot cheek and your right foot cheek, it's like, all right, well, we've seen that before, but this bartender's bad as shit. We haven't seen her naked. Like, it's a different aspect.
but then you won't see her naked.
Exactly.
So
That's the whole
That's the whole thing. You
I
know,
can't,
the
you
thing
know,
is,
it's what I can't have, so I'm gonna go chase
as
that.
crazy as it sounds, like people don't understand this. The more you wear, the more intriguing you are.
Right.
The less you wear, we're like, all right, it looks nice. I'm gonna stare at you, but you know, where's the work?
And
I don't want to get the wrong
Where's the
idea.
word
I want people to
But
wear more
not
clothes.
just that,
I do not want them to wear more clothes.
But not just that, the bartenders interact more with the customers than the strippers.
Well, they have
That's
no
the
choice
problem.
to. That's what I'm saying. It's a point where
What they do?
'cause
They have
interact.
no choice.
They can easily like,
There's a lot of bartenders that
You're
will
right. No, I'm
they
getting
can,
it
they can
wrong.
easily be like, here's your drink, peace.
Yeah.
But instead they interact, make a little jokes, and laugh
but
at your
that's
corny
part
ass
of it. No,
joke,
I
and-
get it.
like,
Right.
they know
They
what
do
doing.
that though. Some will do that.
Look,
Some
if
will
you
come
don't
back.
interact with your customer, you're not gonna get paid. So interact with your customer.
That is true.
That's it.
I'm just
Plain and
saying
simple.
too. When they're on the stage, because they have to go, they rotate them on stage. That's when they're prime time.
And then with that, the other
That's
problem,
where they
though,
get most of their action.
the
At.
other
So what
problem
can
is
be?
like, I remember like as a younger dude going to like strip clubs and stuff, and like
I know we talking.
I'm not going to.
They don't say no things out there.
I want to shut no Brooklyn clubs down.
They might be already shut down. I don't
Already shut down.
You know, yeah. I mean,
Shout out to Pumps and let your ass.
Shout out to Pumps.
Nah, but I remember as a younger dude going.
they're not paying.
You had different types of females all throughout. I'm not only talking ethnicity or race. I'm talking about body shape, body size.
Right.
Now it's every single girl has a fake butt that she paid some doctor to do, and it all looks the same. And it's there's nothing to it anymore. You know.
Right. Yeah, there's no-
The thing is like, so if I'm going to a strip club, all right, if I'm going to spend my hard-earned money on a strip club, then I expect to see a female that to me is attractive, and if I have to be the bartender, then that's what I'm going to spend my time with, because at the end of the day, like, you're getting paid to strip, so therefore you're expected to look a certain way. Just like our money exchange model is expected to look a certain way, and this is, you know what I mean? You're not expecting the average Joe to go up there, or the average female to go up there and strip. You're expecting someone who looks a certain way,
Right.
so they
So-
all look the same.
So do we
to your
feel
point,
like
to your
the-
point, well, you were saying that at the stages where they make their money, but you have to understand, the industry's changed. So you have to change. So it's adapt or die, bro.
So do we feel like the touch and the dance now is overrated?
Depends. Some of these strippers be doing wild shit.
That's so we've seen some shows. So pole dancing is now applying to the Olympic sport. It's a workout for moms. So what can a dancer stripper do on a pole to be
I put it this way.
to stand out
The
now?
one thing
Make it artistic. I'm with that.
In what way? Like what can they do that you haven't seen?
Different moves, maneuvers, I'm not a pole dancer, so
But I'm saying, but it's the
But
point now where
Pole
it's.
dancing is a class now.
That's what I'm saying. They're applying for the Olympic sport. It's going to be in the Olympics.
But here's the thing,
So
dancing in general,
what would that do? Is that hurting the industry itself? If it's going to be in the Olympics, if we're going to see
I do
pole
say that's
dancing
a goal to
sport,
Russia, so that always getting serious.
he took it off. I'm trying to. The strippers need reparations. Take care of the strippers. All right.
Listen,
I think they all
financially we're not doing that well. We
bartenders,
got to throwing change at them. Like,
you know what it is though?
I shouldn't say the name.
Yeah.
He used to put the dollar with a quarter in it. We know someone who did that.
But now that I think about it, now that I think about it,
when they made it rain,
something that can be helped for the strippers is make it obvious like for who the money's at, because sometimes people just chuck the money. And because some of it falls on the stage, the strippers say that's ours.
Right.
But
they had their own etiquette. That's one of those things where
it's probably like a rule there. Like,
but I don't think there is.
I'm not gonna write my dollar.
It was amongst them. They had their own. They had their own rule. Because it was like whoever was dancing. If the girl had next, she knew this is not yours. If it was on the stage and she was the piece at the moment. That was her.
I think he means like the bartender.
I'm talking about
the bartender. Well, that also depends on the club.
Because
that's the game.
But at the same token, if the bartender's twerking and you throw money, you want to know that's for the bartender. Now, if the bartender's just serving a drink, ain't nobody gonna throw a water cash for
They do though. They do that.
Yeah.
But to me, I feel like throwing it is I never did that. It's idiotic. I did it one time.
It's fair game.
It's idiotic. It's fair game. If somebody threw $1 and it fell my way, I'm sliding that back. Here you go. That was for me though.
But
it's fair
I'm
game.
saying the dancers are gonna say if it's on stage, that's theirs.
Well, again, that's them. So
but that's what I'm saying.
Each club has their own etiquette.
That's something that maybe
each club has their own etiquette. Some of them
They should be like a line. Like this is the red line.
Some clubs have the stage behind there. Some don't.
If they
So it
need to do
depends.
that, then fine. But they gotta.
They do that. They have their own.
I don't think
They do. I'm telling you.
If you on
I know they do. I'm telling you they do.
If you on the pole and you did backflips and shit, then you would know the dots become throwing that shit like.
But it depends on where the stage
Randy
is.
Johnson.
Like, every club is different. It's different etiquette per spot. They know this. The girls have this already. When they work there, they talk about that.
Go in your day shift, learn how to be mixologists, and make fucking drinks.
I would say
most of the bartenders not mixologists. Don't drinks be whack. You're not caring about this.
I think the water.
This is a great etiquette. No, he's like.
I think the water at the end.
I would say at this point, if we have to find ways to give strippers more money, that strippers ain't doing their job there. I'm trying to. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know some that are still profiting. I think it's again. I don't think it's a monetary beef. It's one of those. The fame. I think it's the celebrity status that
of course
bartenders now are.
They have a
coming up. There's Bernice and a bunch of other ones that are now
get you on Instagram or something.
And that's the thing. And they're trying to do it because usually they didn't have to do social media. And they came up. Rappers came into the club, put them in a video, put them on the calendar.
How many of the strippers are working as hard? Like I look at the same way I look at like rap music. Like there's a lot of kids who are garbage that made it, but what was their hustle like? Some of those kids. Horrible music, but they believe in themselves. They had crazy hustle.
Yeah.
How can you hate? I can hate on the lyrics you're spitting, but I can't hate on your hustle.
Yeah.
Same thing. If you're not doing what you like,
on the hustle.
Yeah. If you're not doing what you like to do to promote yourself, that's on you.
I know.
I mean, truthfully, a lot. So the thing is, most of the bartenders are not hustling. They're in the booth, the box.
I'm talking about social media.
Oh yeah. I mean,
if you don't have, it's 2015. If you don't have a social media hustle, then you fucking up. And whatever you're doing in your life, and if it comes to this, like entertainment.
And how many bartenders do photo shoots on the side that they pay for?
But the dancers do that too.
Okay, but you know,
that's why I go back to the club, like we said before about the Startenders. I don't know if the bartenders came up with that name or the club came up with that name, but they didn't give the dancers a name. There was no team.
They had names. Strippers.
I mean, strippers. Yeah, but they were bartenders. They gave them a name. You know what I'm saying? Startenders. So they became a superhero team. They became the Golden State Warriors. They got Durant. They became a super team.
Okay, but you can't be mad at the club for promoting that because at the end of the day, that's making the club most money. So you go promote your best player. Aaron Judge is hitting home runs. He got a boxing Yankee Stadium. Ain't nobody else got no boxing Yankee Stadium because he's drawing the fans.
At the point, there's a time where like it's just rappers on one side, bartenders on the other side, no strippers, and the club still gonna make money.
But that's what the beef. That's what the issue. The club owners they just want their money. They don't care. The strippers.
My whole thing with strippers is simple. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Right. Like you're not gonna get in on that piece of the pie unless you put in more hustle. If you're not going to put in more hustle, then just shut up and take your dollars. And like that's it.
Yeah, I guess we all agree. They got to step their game up.
Bartenders round one.
But I mean, bartenders round one. Bartenders, strippers, anyone who feel they want to voice their opinion can add to the conversation on all social media. at 2021 Vision, A2021VISION, and can email any comments or video clip of a minute or less to be posted online as well at 2021vision@outlook.com. All right, fellas, good times, good conversations.
I still want to get into Flacco hit with Kiko Alonso.
All right, so we can re-edit that out. Before we go, sports topic of the day. Kiko Alonso. So
was it a dirty hit?
So Kiko Alonso, Joe Flacco. The rule is once a quarterback leaves the pocket, they are a runner.
They are a runner. Correct.
So he was sliding.
He began to slide.
He was sliding. So once you slide, you're giving yourself up. So you're conceding the play. The play is dead. So what was the call on the field? If I recall, was it called? Was there a flag on the play?
Yeah, it was flag on the play.
But there's people are saying that he should be suspended for the hit.
Mm-hmm.
But I myself don't see it as a dirty hit
because
look, you're going full speed. He's a runner. You chasing the runner. Yeah, he gave himself up, but it's not like he jumped at him when he was on the floor. He was sliding and he was already coming. The hit was coming. Joe Flacco's a tall guy, where he's like 6'5", right? Something like that. So he caught him, and it wasn't helmet to helmet. It was the shoulder that hit his head.
So he launched himself.
Yeah,
he didn't launch himself. It was a regular tackle. If you're short, it's a legal hit. Your shoulder. It's not helmet to helmet.
Right.
He was going after a runner. You going full speed, and when he started to slide, he was like, I would say maybe 2 feet away. You already starting to move.
If he was that far away, then he should have.
You're gonna stop yourself at 2 feet running for full speed?
That's why I'm not in the NFL.
Yeah, exactly.
I probably wouldn't have got 2 feet. I wouldn't have been able to make that.
You can't all of a sudden stop and pull up.
Between the low physics of him hitting him and like it's just no way possible. Like, don't get me wrong, there are people who do dirty hits. I don't think that was.
I don't think that one was.
I don't think he intentionally went. I think he didn't touch. Like, dirty hit would have been. He would have beat him with his helmet.
Yeah,
that's not true.
I think a dirty hit was you don't make the effort to avoid that collision. There was no effort made for that. That was.
What he was doing?
He went down.
He went down.
If he's sliding down,
we gotta run that video back. But if I'm my man leaves his feet as he's sliding. Once you leave your feet, you can't control what's gonna happen.
Right.
But
he was already leaving.
You don't.
It's not like Joe
if I'm sliding and somebody's hitting me here, you aim it to hurt.
All right, hold on. All right, so we just all watched the replay numerous times, slow mo, over and over again.
Yes.
You still agree?
I still say it's not a dirty hit.
Dirty.
You say?
It was low. It was dirty.
I agree. It was a dirty
hit. But suspended game?
I don't think, no.
Okay, so the rule is...
He was definitely aiming low, but at the velocity he was going, I don't see where he was.
You say he's aiming low because he's looking at him?
Yes!
No.
He went right to his head.
No, you can't.
Once you see where he's at, you gotta stop. You see where you're going, you drive, right? If you see a car in front of you, you stop, right?
Listen,
he's sliding. Once he slides, the play is dead. He's looking at him and going down.
Oh shit, it's too late.
No, it was not too late. He went and then he turned his head afterwards. He's in the air.
You can't turn the quarterback from there. At the height he was running at, Joe Flacco was standing straight up with his knees.
Yes, that's a dirty play. And he's looking right at him and launched right at him.
He was too low.
And then he turns his head away and gives the shoulder.
I think the velocity part he could have controlled, but he definitely was hitting low.
But if he wanted to not hit him, he could have leaped over him. Once he see he's going, you can go over. The play is dead. Once he slides, not a dive, a slide, the play is dead. So he could have jumped over him or whatever. I'm not saying complete stop, 0 to 60, 0 to 60 to 0.
So he's stopping, he's coming, he's sliding, he's already momentum's going.
He's looking, he's jumped over him. I just said that. Jump over. It's not too late. He saw him slide and look and sized
up. The bigger question is, we know the NFL.
Yeah.
Is he gonna get suspended for it?
Probably not.
Or probably
because Joe Flacco is not Tom Brady.
You only get suspended when you're a Cowboy.
or if you hit Tom Brady. It's not Tom Brady. So
sports in general, man, is just so bitch made now.
True. I mean, we can all agree on that.
I agree with the NFL wants to protect their money. It was quarterback. I just don't see it so outrageous that he has to get suspended.
I feel like, and I'll put a link in the in the description, but I feel like from that replay, he looked right at him. He made eye contact, and he hit him with the Bill Duke. You know you done fucked up, right? You know, like he looked right at him and gave him the look, and he
I think a suspension.
he went in with it.
A
So,
suspension is warranted. Now, would it be handed out? I highly doubt it.
I mean, do they specify specifically that? Like, so, you know, like the NBA got like, you know, flavor 1, flavor 2, and so on.
Well, I mean, they just called it a 15.
They just called it, right, they called it a penalty. So I don't. The league
He can get that
And then he has to
whole
review.
Yeah, and I don't think they're gonna. It's not Tom Brady.
No.
And Flacco, Tom Brady and their camp would make a bigger deal about it.
Right.
I don't think Flacco and them are gonna.
Baltimore's not gonna, you know.
Yeah, so I think it's gonna
What are you
be.
talking about? Baltimore probably lost him for the next week.
Yeah, but they're not.
They won that game though. What was the score of that game?
40-0.
They killed them in that game.
And he went out in the
And he
second
went out in
quarter.
the second quarter, and it got worse. So
Baltimore's not gonna.
they alright.
I don't know. I still don't say suspended.
They alright.
It shouldn't.
I mean,
Man.
I don't. Like I said, I don't know if it was warranting a suspension.
I don't think suspension was
He didn't
bad
hit
yet.
helmet. It wasn't helmet to helmet. I think helmet to
Because he
helmet.
saw each other.
That's what I'm saying, and that goes to my point. So I think the penalty is correct.
The penalty is
I
correct.
think the
I'm not
penalty is
denying the
correct,
penalty.
but I don't
I'm
think
just saying it's not
that's what it's saying.
suspension.
Oh, okay, so yes, I don't think it's
I
a
think
suspension.
I think suspension is warranted, but it won't be handed out.
Yeah,
I don't,
No,
think,
NFL.
I don't think it's suspension worthy, but
Yeah.
It won't be
flag
handed out.
definitely flag.
yeah. I think that was clear. What you just care about Ezekiel Elliott as long as it
He just
wasn't
cares about
Dak
it.
Prescott. You know,
I definitely, I mean, I think the suspension is warranted, actually.
you do
Yeah,
feel.
So we split 50-50.
Well,
So
because it's just like.
No, I think we don't. We none of us think it should be suspension.
I think.
Okay, so yeah, it was okay.
Because the thing is, like, regardless, again, if Joe Flacco was standing straight, that was a hit to the knees.
Hit to the knees.
Yeah.
So it would have been a
But I
little
don't think he would have went because from what I see, he looked and seen where he was at and aimed.
So
if
he-
Joe didn't slide, I don't think he would have
So
went.
you're saying he intentionally hit a grounding quarterback,
That's what I believe. Yes.
which is still a dirty fucking move.
Yes.
So it's still dirty. So suspension.
That's what I said. I don't think because I think they suspend if it's helmet to helmet, something like that. I think the unnecessary roughness, whatever, is what they called it. I think
They called it. They got 15.
that's what it is. Yeah, I think if it was helmet to helmet, he got a concussion, so it just goes to show you now. Again, that's where the rule and the result
Look at
has
the
to be
speed that
very
he was moving.
right. But that's what I'm saying. The rule is one thing. Now that's what they have in written. Now, if it needs to be adjusted because they thought helmet to helmet was worse. That just shows you shoulder to helmet is just as bad because he woke up concussed and confused. So now they might have to adjust the rule and say helmet to helmet is bad, but shoulder to helmet. So like you said, sports right now is very soft. This may make it softer.
I don't think it's that soft. I know you want to protect.
I think it's
protect.
I don't think it makes it soft. Because Joe Flacco doesn't have that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're not going to do it right now, but I think they're going to review that.
My 90s era of sports, basketball, football, was way rougher than this little ballerina shit that's going on now.
Everything was.
You gotta also
Life was.
You also got to factor in the amount of injuries that progressed over the years. Like injuries is.
Like,
Well, see, in basketball, you can't use that because a lot of the injuries are just off of them. Football is contact.
Injuries where a 200-pound man hitting 200
Right, football is
I'm
contact.
talking about injuries in general. Like the amount of ACL or MCL tears we've seen has increased.
But a lot of that is them being bigger, stronger, faster.
I'm saying, but that's why all leagues want to cut down as much contact as possible to preserve their moneymakers. You know, if you have a thoroughbred horse and they keep popping an ankle, you're like,
Yet they don't feel they should do more research on CTE and things like that after retirement. So they only care about the money making when it's making money. Once it no longer makes money, we don't care anymore.
As any company, you know, they care about it right now.
That is a whole other topic that we'll cover another day.
We'll watch Will Smith's movies and.
Did anybody see that movie?
I did.
It was awesome.
I watched it. His action I couldn't get past.
I didn't care.
You didn't care because it wasn't Dak Prescott or
It's not
Ezekiel
the story
Elliott.
though. I mean, I didn't watch it for the acting.
The NFL,
The information I got from it.
but the NFL got it and took some stuff out.
Oh yeah, they did. They had a
So again, it's like the point of the movie
Was lost.
was tainted because the NFL said you can't say that.
I don't know how much was factual and how much sensationalized for the movie, so I'm not gonna base my information off the movie. But the movie itself, it was kind of boring. I didn't.
It was very. You know what? It's one of the movies that might have been better as a documentary.
Was it son in
It
this one?
probably should
It probably
have
been better, huh?
Was it son in this one?
Was it what?
Was it son?
Oh,
No,
nah. By the way, he got an album coming out.
Yeah.
I think it's the link, right? I didn't put a link for
You got that?
Jaded.
Jaden?
He got some joints on there. He got it was a couple. It's like a.
He got some bangers?
The link I sent had like 7 skits.
So if he sell the McAvoy, he sell 45,000 albums. Is that okay?
51.
I gotta hear the whole thing. If I hear the whole thing, I can adjust. I'm just saying from what I heard snippets.
So what if he has one song with Lil Yachty? Because that was your judgment before. What if he has one song?
Again,
Is it done?
if that happens, it's the I can't rock with the.
So if Joe Budden do a song with Lil Yachty, if that happens, is it done on the back?
Is that happening? Is that happening?
You never know. I think I've seen Stranger Things.
I'm not talking about a Netflix TV show. We're talking about Joe Budden doing a song with Lil Yachty.
I don't watch my damn show, bro. Now that you say that.
What show? Oh, Stranger Things? See, you plugging stuff.
No, I didn't.
He said Stranger Things.
I said Stranger Things.
You plugging stuff. You plugging stuff. Don't say that. Find another word.
Shout out to Netflix.
Find another word. Until we get a Netflix deal, don't be plugging Netflix, alright? Until we get that Dave Chappelle money, we ain't doing that. But hey, my man, edit that out real quick. Yeah, we good there. We got everything.
Let's wrap it up for now.
We got anything? So topics we don't like. Harvey Weinstein. You don't
no sexual assault, everybody.
Well, I think we're pretty much against sexual assault.
So we're against sexual assault,
so
even if you're old.
Yeah, even that's not an excuse.
It's still wrong. I mean,
That's an excuse. A bad joke is not an excuse.
It's a bad joke, but you can joke on R. Kelly
Yes.
and make a rap about it.
Yes.
Can do that, and we want
Make a fucking whole Comedy Central skit about it.
the bartenders are winning.
Bartenders are winning. Shout out to the
Do
bartenders.
we care?
It's a big brother level
Do we
winning.
want the strippers to?
Not really. I mean,
So we don't care about the strippers.
I really don't. Like,
We don't.
not really.
I care because
We care.
yeah, that's the point of the strip club, right?
We can go to a bar. And
I could go to
bartend.
any bar and see
Not the same kind, right? Not.
Maybe now, but maybe in the future they'll
I don't
change
know.
that.
I think we just gave an idea away, but
I'm just saying, you
a
know,
bar that has dressed up bartenders might.
There are some bars like that
I
already.
might need to call my accountant and.
There are some bars like that already.
See what I'm saying? So there is still a thing to go to a strip club though.
Yeah,
so,
bartenders.
but that's what I'm saying. Edit that out. But if just the bartender is the draw, would you not go to a bar that you dressed up at like that? So there is something still there.
I think the draw on subconsciously is still the stripper, even though they're going for
But I think
because
it's a tease because you have the fully clothed
Right.
bad chick, and then you're like, all right, well, titty, fully clothed,
Right.
Titty, like, at least
You know what it is?
thing.
It's now that you have optional views. That's what it is. I just
like, the bartenders are better than the strippers. I'm sorry.
yeah, they are. I agree with that. I agree with that. That's what I'm saying right now. Bartenders won that round.
They win.
Bartenders
And then
won
we're
that
also split on Kiko Alonso.
round. I say no.
Dirty.
Dirty hit. We all agree it's dirty hit though.
Yeah, it's
We
dirty.
just, the severity of the hit.
But it's the severity. I just
No
don't think it's
suspension.
A dirty hit should be suspended regardless.
Yeah.
Man.
The wrong dirty hit.
Well, no, the dirty hit is what the flag is.
Right, that's the flag.
That's the flag.
That's the flag, exactly. Because
Dirty is the flag.
He didn't want to concuss the guy.
Right, he didn't. Right, he wanted.
He had intent on that. He had intent on that.
I think he locked in, but I don't know if he was like, I'm gonna concuss you.
That motherfucker had intent.
He had
He was
intent.
like, I'm gonna rock this.
He wanted to stop and not get a first down, man. So that was his
No,
intent.
he didn't. He didn't want to get blown the fuck out.
Hey yo. Hey yo. Yeah.
Hey, yo.
On that note,
Peace out, everybody.
yeah, we'll see you next week.
Peace.